How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. Today, we are taking a look at my final video of the season, and guys, it is going to be a fun one. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the best 10 battles over the last month or so. And it's really nice that it worked out this way, but the end of May just so happens to also be basically the end of this current season that we're in, I think season 14. So what I'd like to do is start doing this every month. So the next one would be obviously June. I will do another top 10 battles of June, and this is going to be kind of the pilot to see whether this is a good idea or not. So I do have a battle submission form next to my regular battle submission form that is called the top wins of the month, and I have had it in the description now for quite a while, but only like 2 or 3 people send in battles, and ironically actually nobody remembered to send in the Google Drive form link. So I'm not going to be using any of those battles, obviously, because I don't have the links. But what I did do is I used some regular battle submissions of people that submitted me full-length videos that I wasn't able to get to, and I included some of those battles, as well as some battles that were sent in that I did feature on the channel. The rest of the battles are just going to be my battles from a bunch of different leagues. Some you guys have probably seen, some you haven't, but there is going to be some absolutely incredible wins in this video, guys. So if you do enjoy this, please make sure you like it and subscribe if you have not, because I spent a lot of time on all these graphics. There's probably a better way that I could have done it to where I didn't have to spend so much time on it, but yeah, I spent hours and hours on this video. So make sure you guys do let me know if you enjoy it. So before this gets long, because I think this video is going to be a little longer anyway, we're just going to get right into it, and we're going to be starting off with the oldest videos and then moving on to the most recent footage. Again, these are all from May, and yeah, you guys are just going to have to wait and see what I have in store for you. So the first battle here, as you see, double Shadow, and the Shadow Dragonite here is the star of this show, and we're going to be looking at some open Great League battles here. So let's get into the first battle here. This is back, as you see, before I was Legend, so earlier in the season, and we have the worst possible lead, the Shadow A9 into the Dragonite, and I do switch into the Shadow Swampert using this team, and there is some lag as well, which is really annoying, but the opponent is actually staying in here, which is not bad for us, but what is bad is that I know what team this is. This is the team that you guys may have seen back in the Open Great League. It is the Shadow A9, Bastiodon, and Medicham, and the opponent is actually playing this very well because they're staying in here. They're maintaining switch advantage, as you see, and even though I'm going to be able to bring in my Registeel now to take this thing out, since they didn't switch out there, they can now, after this A9 goes down, align their Medicham to my Registeel, and then my Shadow Dragonite is going to be locked into their Bastiodon. So this is not really looking good for me whatsoever. I do overfarm as much as possible, and I'm going to throw the Focus Blast. At this point, one move is going to KO, so I might as well throw the cheaper move. And we do take out the A9, and I'm expecting that Medicham to come back in. So right away, I bring in the Shadow Dragonite, and there's the Bastiodon. But what this trainer did not realize is just how much damage a Shadow Superpower does to a Bastiodon. We send the Superpower, and Superpower nearly one-shots the Bastiodon. And now I realize I have a win con. My win con here is going to be to shield this up, fully farm them all the way down, come out with 100 energy. We're locking on down a Bastiodon. We get the lock on down. And now, if we can get this Zap Cannon debuff, we just might make a second move before the Medi farms us down. And that's assuming they're not running Pup or Dynamic Punch as well. They do throw their move. Is this going to be a Dynamic Punch? And it is a power-up punch. So can we make it to one more Zap Cannon? And we do. I think that the Zap Cannon debuff there is what won me that game. But we come back from a very, very difficult hard counter lead and take a very impressive win. So that's game 1. We're going to be moving into game 2 now. And game 2 is going to be in the Little Cup. This is my push to Legend. I didn't quite make it in the Little Cup, but this, I believe this is the set. This win is the win that got me up into the high 2900s. So we're going to take a look at this battle next. If I can get this to go. Here we go. And not the spiciest team, but just some very, very high-level plays are what made this battle get on this video. So Wooper lead is really tough for the Vulpix because with energy, the Wooper beats my whole team. Basically, again, a little bit more lag, but we are actually able to make the catch onto the seal. So very nicely done. Opponent is going to be staying in here, it looks like. and they are over farming quite a bit. So I believe this is just a body slam. And I believe the opponent does stay in some more, yeah. And I throw the Aqua Tail now just before they switch out, or just before they were to make it to their body slam. And they do let that go, and they bank a body slam, and they switch out. So I will keep that in mind, but the opponent has a Ducklet. And again, I throw on very nice timing just as the wing attack's going through, but this opponent makes a very nice play here. They tank the move knowing they can survive it, and they fully farm down my Seal. And now I have a Wooper and a Vulpix versus a Ducklet with nearly 100 energy, and this is looking really bad. I do come in right away and throw the body slam on the Vulpix, recognizing that I would win CMP if the opponent threw right away, and they don't. And now I think my only win con here is to call a bait, and the opponent does bait with a Bubble Beam, and this, I believe, should just be a Bubble Beam. They're going straight Bubble Beam, but I am not going to be shielding that Bubble Beam. And now, after making them dump their energy, I bring in the Wooper knowing that I can outpace them to a Body Slam before they make a Brave Bird, and now they're going to have to shield up their Ducklet, and they don't. What do they have in the back? A second Flyer. This is going to be very, very tricky, so I'm going to have to I'm going to have to manage my energy perfectly here to win this game. And I do throw the Body Slam, I believe, on CMP to their foul play, and I know that the next foul play will be after 7. So my play here is going to be to maximize my energy as much as possible. And I think if I can catch the opponent into another CMP tie, I might be able to win this game. I do overfarm, and again, I catch the opponent on the CMP tie, and now I can just let my Wooper go down, assuming they shield us, and they don't shield it. They let it go. I know that the Wooper had 1 Body Slam bank, so they're now at 5 mud shots. So my play here is going to be get their shield, and then I can aggressively bring in my Vulpix and outpace them by 1 single fast move and win the game. And we do get there just as they're reaching their next Body Slam. And we beat a very, very difficult team comp. And I believe that was the battle that took me like to 2950 something maybe. I have to see. I did include this part, yeah. We're not going to watch me sit here and catch this Dratini though. Let's just fast forward through this. And there we go, 2955. Some really sweaty battles, guys. I'm sure that you guys, like myself, didn't really enjoy the Little Cup that much, but man, there were some pretty satisfying wins in that league for me for sure. So in the next battle, we have a battle submission by Niranjana 222, and this trainer is running a very cool double bug steal, and not only that, but the opponent, or the Niranjana here, is actually running the Shock Drive Genesect with the Electric Techno Blast, and we'll have to see if this trainer can take any of the opponents by surprise in this battle. So, getting into this battle here, we have a Charizard into his Empress, which is pretty nice for Niranjana here, but then the opponent there switches into a Giratina, and he doesn't really have an answer for Giratina, unfortunately, so gonna have to stay in with the Empress, it looks like. And the unfortunate thing is, if you're staying in with the Empress, that means that the Charizard is going to be free against the Bug Steals in the back, which they absolutely do not want to be locked into that Charizard. So we'll have to see how Niranjana here plays these battles. It's going to be a little bit tricky, and actually is going to pivot into the Genesect. I really like this play, and maybe even caught a Dragon Claw as well. And no, unfortunately didn't catch the Dragon Claw there, but now I think the play here is just to fully farm down, and hopefully we'll be able to land a Techno Blast, maybe on the Charizard, we'll have to see. And the opponent aggressively brings back in the Charizard, and oh my goodness, are they going to respect this Shock Drive? And they don't respect it. It one-shots the Charizard from full health, and the opponent has a Swampert in the back. So this is actually not over. This is going to be still a little bit tricky, because Swampert is pretty rough for this team as well. Does get the shield, but it does look like the opponent might be fully farming down here, and they get the full farm down. And this is very, very rough now. Brings back in the Empress, and the opponent throws on alignment there and gets the full Volt Switch through. And this is absolutely massive, because now clicks on the Brutal Swing and wins CMP, forces the opponent into a CMP tie. And this will waste their energy, and it gets the last shield. And now we just have to hope that the Escav can sweep this game. I think the Escav should be able to sweep this game now up a shield, because can safely shield whatever the Swampert throws here, and just has to make sure that the opponent does not catch onto their Giratina. Does shield up the Hydro Cannon, and now I would probably overfarm here, and the opponent is very off there on their timing, and now can fully counter down the Giratina, and will be able to drill run the Swampert, and that is going to be a GG. So very nicely played here by Niranjana. You have to love seeing that Charizard get one-shotted by a Techno Blast. Yeah, I'm assuming the opponent probably expected like the Ice-type Techno Blast, but this person was not running the Ice-type, and that is a GG. So very well played in that battle. And into the next battle here, we have a Dr. Love special. I believe I did make a video on this, his Spicy Tapu Koko, but this was one of my favorite wins from this video, because this is actually Home Slice Henry's team. He has the Defense Deoxys there on the lead. This is not Home Slice Henry he's playing, but switches into a Shadow Snorlax. And Dr. Love doesn't have the best answer to a Shadow Snorlax, so just going to stay in, chip with the Seed Bomb first. And after that chip damage, I believe he should just be able to go for Brutal Swings here. Doesn't need to go for the Focus Blast. Does respect a big move there by the Snorlax, and just a Body Slam. But Shadow Body Slams would hurt the Ampharos. Ampharos is not super bulky and does let the next one go. So nice call there, and now is at the back-to-back Brutal Swing. So if the opponent wants to maintain switch here, they're going to have to start giving him some shields. Does get the first shield and may actually get the second shield as well here with this next Brutal Swing. We'll have to see. And does get the second shield, and now should be able to get, I believe this Brutal Swing should be able to land after he shields this up. I don't think they're at the back-to-back. And they're not. Gets the Brutal Swing off. And now, if this is the team I'm thinking, Home Slice Henry's team, then there's going to be a Guzzlord in the back. And they do bring back in the Defense Deoxys, which is great because it does still have alignment, so can line up that Trevenant to the DD. And we'll have to see, is it going to be the Guzzlord in the back? Brings in the Trevenant, expecting the switch, pivots out, and Tapu Koko now is going to land a double super effective Dazzling Gleam onto this Guzzlord. Guzzlord is a very, very bulky Pokemon, but this Tapu Koko fully walls the Guzzlord. And is this going to one-shot? What do you guys think? Of course it's going to one-shot. Destroys the Guzzlord, and the opponent has had enough of that. They surrender. You love to see it. I always enjoy shoutcasting Dr. Love's battle. So next battle, I believe we're going to be looking at quite a few of my own now in the Sunshine Cup. And this team here is the team that I actually used to get to Legend. And hold on, let me see, why is my background doing that? There we go. So this is my Legend team. Not the spiciest team ever, but this is one of my best wins on my way to Legend. I believe this is in like the higher 2900s, like 2970s maybe. And this was a very tough win that I managed to somehow pull off against a hard counter lead. So this is the Unova Stunfisk lead here. Terrible for the Pidgeot, so we bring in the Goat, double, and the opponent throws on alignment here, which allows me to get a full double kick through, which is very nice. And now after chipping me, they bring in a Jumpluff. So this is looking really, really rough. It would be really nice to be able to get switch here, because Pidgeot can just do absolutely nothing to the Unova Stunfisk. So I actually go for the bigger move there, recognizing that the opponent was not going to be shielding the first, so I land the payback, which is nice. Even though the body slams are more energy efficient, I wanted to get that through because now it looks like the next body slam may be able to force a shield. We'll have to see. I do call the energy ball. Acrobatics would have KO'd me, but I call the energy ball, and now I might be able to force a shield here with this body slam. We'll have to see, and the opponent doesn't shield it, and now can I get the farm down? Looks like I'm actually going to potentially try to force a shield here. Maybe recognizing I might not be able to farm down. They shield, and it's a simultaneous KO, so we might actually be able to take switch here if we call this correctly. We wait our clock as much as we can, and the opponent does bring back in the Unova Fist, so we do not have switch, but we did manage to get ourselves a shield advantage in that mid-game, and they have their own double in the back, and this is a very, very close matchup between Vig and Double, but up a shield, I think I should be able to do it. I am throwing on very correct timing there, making sure to throw one counter before my moves. And again, the opponent doesn't throw on good timing, and we're going to let this body slam go through and fully farm down. And now this Unova Stunfisk has to deal with this Vigoroth that has a lot of energy. I do actually bait here because I'm expecting that the opponent probably will shield, and they do shield. And I was worried here that they might make the back-to-back. So what I'm actually going to do here is shield this up, and then bank that body slam and switch into the Pidgeot, because I know that the opponent's going to have to throw two moves here, or they're going to have to, what you're going to see here is they're going to have to commit to the farm down after I Brave Bird them here, but this is perfectly fine, because after this Brave Bird lands, plus a couple more wing attacks, this thing will be in body slam range, and maybe they didn't realize I banked a move, but Vigoroth will definitely be winning CMP, and we win CMP, and again, we take a hard counter lead there and turn it into a victory somehow. And I don't think I had this, yeah, I don't think I had the end of the set on this one here, but I believe that is the battle that got me to like 2980 or something, so really cool win there. And we had some more Sunshine Cups, because the Sunshine Cup, I did play probably the most battles in the last month or so. I played the most battles in the Sunshine Cup, and I did send out a lot of spice as well to other content creators. So this team, I did feature this team on my channel, but I believe I do have a couple after this of the Sunshine Cup that were sent over to Jamie Finn and Calamontos. So this is the Low Punny team, the Low Punny that loves to boom everything in the Sunshine Cup. As you see there, had a really rough lead. Opponent stays in and chips there, and they bring in a Vigoroth to the Low Punny. And do you think that the Vigoroth is going to respect the Hyper Beam? And they don't. It nearly one-shots. We get the double kick through here, and now this should KO the Vigoroth, and we have taken back switch advantage. So now our Jumpluff does not have to see that knockdown, which is going to be very, very nice. And I believe they do come back in with a knockdown. They do come back in, and they're going to commit to a full farm down here. But we actually are going to make another Hyper Beam at the last second. And sorry, guys, I'm trying to rearrange myself here. And we do get a shield there. Obviously, they were going to shield that after seeing the Hyper Beam before, but we get a shield, and now our Double can come into this knockdown and put in some work, because Double is the GOAT, as you guys know, and we are running Wild Charge on this Double as well. I think Payback is better overall, but I was just trying to be a little spicy here. So the opponent brings in their own Double, and we now have the alignment we want. Jumpluff will be on this Double, and I believe we should be okay here. As long as I can take out this Double and leave with enough health to get a move off on their knockdown, I think we should be okay here. So I do land the Energy Ball. They do have a shield, but at this point, I'm expecting them to just sacrifice their Double, recognizing that knockdown is their win con. And I did bank some energy on the Double, as you guys did see. So as long as I can get their shield, I think we should be okay with the jump off. We do take out their Double, and now I just have to make the acrobatics here. And we do make the acrobatics. The opponent does not throw, and I'm fully expecting this to get the shield, and then I can wild charge them, but they let it go. Very nice play, but I'm so ahead on energy here with the Double that I can make it to the back-to-back body slams, and we're going to take another win from a hard counter loss. And even if they are at back-to-back here, Double does win CMP against the knockdown, and they weren't even at the back-to-back, and that is going to be another GG. So yeah, sorry, I don't know what's going on with my camera, why it's flashing a little bit, but yeah, at this point, I'm not going to mess with it. You know, we're already like halfway through the video. I believe we have 4 more battles, and we're getting a little bit spicier here as we move on. This, as you guys see, is already after I've hit Legend, and this is against a very, very high-level battler, C. Leonardo. He is one of the top players in Sylph a lot of times, and also makes pushes for the leaderboards quite often. So this is going to be a very tricky match. As you see, we're running a little bit of spice as well, the Clay Doll and the Shadow Abomasnow. So we start up the battle here. We are actually in the Shadow Abomasnow mirror, which is not a mon I saw very often, and the opponent brings in a Vigoroth here, and this is why the Clay Doll is on the team. Clay Doll just absolutely destroys Vigoroth, and you don't even have to commit a shield here to comfortably win the zeros. And this is typically what I do with the Clay Doll. I'm not really willing to shield a body slam, so I just like to play out the zero shield. And I do overfarm here, and I'm going to throw the Earth Power just before they get to another move. And we'll have to see, is C. Leonardo, so I cannot speak, going to respect it, and he does respect it. And unfortunately, is going to get the entire full farm down, which is really rough for me. But I'm recognizing here that if he's safe swapped out of that lead, he must have another answer for the Abomasnow in the back. So I'm just going to fully sacrifice the Abomasnow here. I'm not going to be shielding anything. I'm just going to fully use this thing as a meat shield. And we're going to put it all on the Victini with a shield in the back. And we bring back in the Victini here. We do farm them down. And now, what do they have in the back? Is Victini going to be able to complete this sweep? And they bring back in the Abomasnow. So I was thinking, holy crap, what is in the back that does not want to see this thing? So I know C. Leonardo is a very good player, so I was expecting a catch here. So I'm going to overfarm. I'm going to have to shield. I'm now debuffed, but I'm going to overfarm here, not throw the V-Create right away, because I was expecting a catch on whatever's in the back, and it's a Shadow Blaziken. So now we see why he brought back in the Abomasnow, and I go for the Overheat here instead of the V-Create, and a resisted Overheat one-shots the Blaziken, and now, despite our debuffed attack, this V-Create is going to be more than enough to one-shot the Shadow Abomasnow. We take a very, very fun win. And if you guys want to see that full set of battles, you can see it over on Rise to the Occasion's channel. I did send those over to him. And we have another very spicy Shadow team here with the Hisuian Electro, which I really like, and the Shadow Kanto Ninetales, as well as the Shadow Typhlosion. And these battles I did send over to Callum on Toast if you guys have not seen them. So let's get into this one again. This is in the higher 2900s after I already hit Legend. And we have a G-Fisk lead here, which is a little bit tricky. Our backline behind on energy does not want to see the G-Fisk, but Electrode does lose to the G-Fisk, unfortunately. So here, we build up to their Earthquake, and we're going to throw on CMP here to the Energy Ball, and the opponent shields the Energy Ball there, which is massive. That would probably not even have done quite half of their health. We do tank the Earthquake there, and now we're up a shield, so it's Shadow Typhlosion time. And they do throw on less than optimal timing as well, and we get some free energy in with that Incinerate, and now what do they have in the back? And they bring in an Air/Pidgeot, and Pidgeot is not an answer to Shadow Typhlosion, guys. As you see here, we're already so far ahead on energy. We make it to 2 Blast Burns, and how much damage does a Shadow Blast Burn do? It one-shots the Pidgeot. Pidgeot goes down, and what do they have in the back? I'm expecting it at this point, that's probably a Noctowl, if they're bringing a Pidgeot into our Typhlosion, and sure enough, there is the Noctowl. They do throw on nice timing here. They throw just before we make another Blast Burn, but I did preserve the Electrode, so I should be able to bring it in here, and they're still switch-locked, and I can Wild Charge the Noctowl, and now our Shadow Ninetales with the shield can very comfortably take care of the G-Fisk. We one-shot the Noctowl with a Wild Charge, and now, yeah, the opponent's just not going to get to enough charge moves here. Even if they made back-to-back Rock Slides, Shadow Ninetales can actually tank a Rock Slide, and Weather Ball takes care of that G-Fisk, and that's a G to the G. And I believe we have one more of my battles left, and then one more set of viewer-submitted battles. And this set of battles, guys, I did send these over to Jamie Finn. I played these during the last Go Battle Day, and my goal here was just to get my sets done as fast as possible. So basically, I created a terrible, heavy, fast move pressure team just to, like, basically RPS my way through and get as many battles in as I could. I got absolutely destroyed with this team. I dropped like almost 300 elo with it, but I had some crazy wins, and you guys are going to see one of my favorite wins with this team. And by the way, if you're noticing the graphics over there, we are running Stone Edge on the Nidoqueen. So we have a Magcargo lead, and Magcargo beats my entire team. So at this point, I was seriously considering surrendering here, but the opponent actually does us a little bit of a favor, and they switch out of that. I think they probably could have incinerated us down before we Razor Leafed them down, but they switch out, and they do get to their Feather Dance first, and they're probably thinking that they can very comfortably tank a Poison Fang here now, but we have Stone Edge, we nuke the Pidgeot, and the opponent does have nearly 100 energy, but what you're going to see is the opponent is going to bait with a Rock Tomb, and our Shadow Nidoqueen hangs on with 1 HP, and because of the new mechanic, we actually make it to an Earth Power. And do they want to give me a shield here? They don't, so now my cargo is gone, we have switch advantage, and now we can bring in the Arcanine to this Noctowl, which is still not the best situation, because they do still have 2 shields, but can our Shadow Arcanine here clutch out this win? This is going to be very close. They do shield our Psychic Fangs here, and I believe that this was a CMP type, so we're going to shield up, and they do, I think they will make it to 3 Sky Attacks here, so I might have to make a catch, and we make the catch onto the Shadow Vileplume. We may even have been able to farm down without that catch, but I just wanted to BM my opponent a little bit, and as you see, they did make another Sky Attack, so maybe the catch was necessary, but we fully Fire Fang down the Noctowl. Despite a Magcargo lead, we're able to take that win, and that is absolutely insane. So into the very last battle of the video. This one was just sent to me by Niranjana again here in the last couple of days. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to make a full video out of it. This is some catch-up battles here, as you see by the little graphic there, but still a really cool win. And this is going to be capping off what I hope is a very fun video for you guys. So let's get into the battle here. A triple dark theme team, and he's facing off into a Shadow Alolan Ninetales. And they are on Charm, so has to get out of there right away. Brings in the Drapion, and the opponent there maybe tried to catch, but he holds on to his energy very nicely there, and they bring in a Lapras. I did see quite a few Water Gun Laprases on some other content creators' channels. I actually didn't even play any of my own battles in the Catch Cup, but the Lapras there switched out pretty late, so is actually able to get 2 crunches off before the opponent throws, and this is massive because I think he can probably shield here now and fully farm down, and this is going to be huge because now the Scrafty will not have to see that Shadow Alolan Ninetales there, and a lot of Drapions here like to run Aqua Tail. So does the opponent respect it? They do not. They get one-shotted by a Sludge Bomb, and there's a Golbat in the back, and I really like this play here over farming. Even though Niranjani here loses CMP, it forces the Golbat. The Golbat gets scared of the crunch there, and they throw some energy, which is very, very nice, because now the Golbat does not have a lot of energy to throw into this Skuntank here, and calls the Poison Fang there very nicely, but the opponent does still have 2 shields, and unfortunately these Poison Jabs are resisted, so we'll have to see how Niranjani here plays out this endgame, and farms up and makes the catch. What did he catch here? Did he catch the Shadow Ball? And catches the Shadow Ball. Massive catch there, because now he should just about make the foul play here, and even if this is a Poison Fang, should be able to live it, knows that, so no shields it, does live it, very nicely done, gets the foul play, and this should be grabbing the last shield, and then the Skuntank is going to be able to crunch this Golbat, and that's going to be a GG, and does get there before the opponent even gets to another move, and that is a very well played last battle. And is it the last battle? Yeah, I think that is the last battle. Yeah, so very nicely played there. This was, an idea I had a while back. I don't want to sit here and think that it's the most original concept ever created, because I know I've seen other content creators do things like this. I know Zionic used to do it a lot in the past, and obviously Calamontos does his Battle of Spice, so by no means am I saying this is a fully original idea, but unlike some of the other content creators' versions of this, I don't necessarily expect you guys to send me in, the craziest spice ever. If you want to use, meta teams, that's totally fine. But if you're going to send me in battles, just make sure that it's actually an impressive win. If you're running meta and you hard counter the opponent, that's probably not going to make it onto the video. But again, I am going to be doing this again in June, so make sure to keep an eye out for my battle submission form for the top wins of the month. And if you want to see your battles featured in this type of video, send me those battles. And even if you do send me a full set of battles and I don't get to them, you still may be able to see your battles featured in this video. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you guys enjoy this. Please let me know in the comments if you like this. And without any further ado, if you guys are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.